And we're back.
Shoutcasters in A, ready to go.
Oh, right into pick bands.
Follow there.
Coming into picking bands, we're gonna see if blue team's gonna let them come out with some mains here. It seems like ELO boost. It's just been unbannable this entire tournament.
We do have a guest shoutcaster with us here today. That Baloo of a Volibear that was here, rolling faces.
Two matches ago, it was the Volibear that was the young god. We got
coming out with almost same bands actually. Getting the Oriana away from Cam the Carry. I'm wondering
why they're not banning anybody who's rolled them or anyone else thus far.
Well, the thing is, if they just if they were to let these three bands through, it would just be the same story.
They better pick Morgana or something and get them off his plate. Otherwise, Gordan, Ramsey. Oh, they banned himself.
Morgana coming out.
He wasn't first pick. They were probably going to want him Morgana.
That's very true. They take Ari away from Cam the Carry. Come on in.
Welcome, fourth shoutcaster.
Yes.
This has never been done before, but 4 shoutcasters on 1 match.
Yeah, we're being world.
We're gonna have to try to not talk over each other, and we had a hard time doing that with 3. So let's see how we do.
It's just gonna happen.
Yeah. So we have the Ari pick for blue team. I'm wondering who they're gonna take for purple. I wonder if they're gonna take the pick of ADC and support. I really doubt they'll reveal their ADC this early on, though.
They have the right idea here, taking away the Oriana and picking out the Ari, but picking the Ari blind.
Maokai.
Giving Maokai right back to Drkepper. He's been smashing face with this all tournament.
I really want Drkepper to take Vigar mid at one point. I actually, at this point, no. I'm hoping that blue team wins this game just so we can see a possibility of Vigar mid from Drkepper just because it's such a phenomenal play.
Now, I just don't think they're going to switch Cam and Drkepper because they've both been so phenomenal in their roles today. I doubt it.
Why not ruin a good thing?
Yeah,
exactly.
Why?
Here's Scion for blue team. That Scion top.
No, maybe Thresh.
Ooh, we got a Thresh support. What would they do?
Thresh against Braum. It works.
It's a pretty standard matchup. It's more or less a farm lane at that point. You get 2 tanky-ish supports, and it's basically just a battle of CC for the trades.
Ooh, we got Thresh Ashe going down bot lane.
That may have been a very... That could have been a huge mistake just because Ashe does not have the escape.
Vigar being hovered here.
Oh,
I think
Nelly.
I think Kepper just hovers on him for the sake of it.
I think he probably does too, but I really want to see it.
I think they're thinking about it.
Coming
out with a Yasuo for Cam.
Man, I'm going to have words with that young man.
Here comes Pantheon back on Jax. They've just been feeding him Jax, and
come on, Jax decided to go ADC, so Yasuo can go mid and Maokai can go top, and we can get a Vigar in there somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
Yasuo can jungle, and then Vigar will go mid.
I'm expecting an AP top from their top player on blue team because that's his favorite kind of thing.
It is. I actually
Vel'Koz coming through with the Vel'Koz.
I did hear them talking about how
top lane.
he's not able to play a whole lot other than AP tops.
And as Zach jungle, this team comp's actually coming out to look a lot better than their last game team comp. They're coming out with a lot more damage and a lot more lockdown.
Yeah.
Their last team comp just really had nothing to it. There was no damage, no chance for outplay. It was just tanks.
Yep. I'm surprised to see the J4 showing again.
Corky.
Here's Corky. Corky against Ashe. That's a good
I was
matchup.
expecting an Ezreal, to be honest, with the Braum for the Q auto attack. The thing about Braum and Maokai is that huge damage negation can block out and heal a lot for their backline. It's a hard wall to break through.
It's such a huge frontline presence. They bring so much disruption to a team fight that it's so difficult for the backline to actually get through and get the damage onto the targets that they want to. Meanwhile, all the backline for Maokai and Braum are just tearing through whatever they can.
The only thing I like about blue team's pick, if they do get engaged on, they have plenty of escapes, plenty of potential for counterplay, especially with Jarvan and Vel'Koz. They'll disrupt them and keep them in a spot where they want them to be poking them down over and over again. Especially with the Ashe arrow. I mean, obviously she might get picked off, but if she ends up being in the backline and they do not focus her, she will ulti and save the team basically under that tower dive.
It's set up for an easy ace at that point.
And there's so much pick potential coming from blue side as well. You got the thresh hook that could be coming over walls. It can be followed up with an Ashe arrow, a charm. So much team fighting. Like the team fighting on blue side is going to be really excellent in the jungle, I think, especially with the Vel'Koz and the Jarvan Cataclysm and the box coming in from Thresh. They're going to have so much power in enclosed spaces, so we're going to see if they...
Let's just see how their synergy plays out.
Yeah.
It's a very good pick on their part with the confined spaces, just because Purple Team is so good at grouping up and staying in that very solid group. So if they can get the Cataclysm and the box in the same area, there's not a whole lot they can do, especially since they don't have Ahri to get out as easily. They're going to be burning a lot of flashes to get out of that.
When you think about it, though, a Cataclysm in a box is kind of counterproductive.
Get the Cataclysm.
Because then
I
you
think
flash
the
through
Cataclysm
box.
can keep them within the box and keep them safe from the walls, actually.
That's why you do the Cataclysm and then the box.
Yeah,
not
or
one.
the box and then the Cataclysm.
Exactly.
I expect Kepper to put down a lot of wards and prevent a lot of blue team's play.
Oh yeah, Kepper has been a huge presence for Elo boosted.
I was talking to him after their game 3 games ago when he just kind of was chilling in jungle, not doing a whole lot just because he couldn't. And he said his biggest goal at that point, when he can't actually get into a lane and get was to stop you, but it was also just to place wards. He said the biggest thing that he did when he couldn't get in lane to get any ganks or any experience that way was to get vision for his team so that they could shut down anything that was coming into their jungle, and it worked.
For the most part, I would still consider it a perfect game for them, even though they fed those 2 kills at the end.
Yep.
It still was a perfectly executed game by them.
It was.
Those were clearly executed.
Yeah.
Those were earned.
Those were very much earned.
So, players to watch this game, who are we thinking?
Cam on Yasuo. I have never actually seen this, and I'm super excited to see him up against Ahri.
This is one of the first games I've seen today that Gordan Ramsey has chosen somebody besides Morgana. So I want to see how he does on just
He
a
was
different
playing
sport.
Braum earlier in the day, and it was really very good. He was talking about how people don't... when they ban the Morgana against him, he goes with the Braum. He doesn't even play Braum, but the lanes just work out for him because Braum's passive and all of his utility is just so great.
And I'm gonna agree with the Gordan Ramsey to watch, just because I haven't seen him play Braum for a while, but I'm also gonna give it to the Mudkip for me. I have not seen Jared play Ashe since I was playing with him season 1. So I'm really interested to see how he's going to play that, especially in a meta where ADCs that are high mobility, high escape, are huge, and Ashe doesn't have any of that. So it'll be fun.
What I'm excited to see, and we'll probably see this game, Cam blocks an Ashe arrow with his wind wall.
That's what I was just about to talk about, because with all of the skill shot pick potential that blue team has, they have 2 walls on purple side. They have so many ways to just completely negate any sort of skill shot related engage that can come from blue side.
Somebody else that's really good in this game is the Vel'Koz. I don't remember his name. Who is that? Demovarian. He is
Top lane god.
He is a very
good Vel'Koz.
He's an excellent AP top lane, and we saw him a few games ago absolutely wreck with
Annie.
With Annie, and then before the game before that, Vel'Koz.
That hurts. That hurts.
That was our master here that got shut down by
that was my team. Thank you.
That was Kyle's game, wasn't it? That was
got absolutely destroyed.
We didn't get
You got
I've never seen such a good top AP mage.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Yeah,
it's
I've never
impressive.
seen it. Like, I don't expect that much from him. Like, when I kept getting called out, I was just like, looked at his score and I was like,
Oh no.
I'm waiting to see how team fights play out with Ari and Vel'Koz. The way that she can loop around where he's disabling, I think will put out a lot of damage and might go toe-to-toe with what Braum and Maokai can put to the table.
Yeah, I agree. Purple side, they've been doing so well at denying dragon contests, though. I haven't seen an actual dragon that they have taken where the enemy team was able to respond with any sort of a team fight. And a lot of the time, that's what the other team hinges on, is whether or not they can beat them in a team fight. And ELO Boosted just does such a good job of making sure that a team fight isn't even an option at the moment.
See the Jaguars go back to their comfort zone with the dual AP team comp. This is going to be a much more interesting game than the previous one.
The top laner didn't understand what I was talking about, but I called him Touché from Fnatic Season 1.
The AP moves. Yeah, I'm so
Nivea?
Again, no push for level 2 from blue side's bot lane, though. Yellow Boosted prioritizes the level 2 so much, and they just never get answered.
One of the bigger things is that Cam now doesn't have a champion you can highly escape with when he goes aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see how they deal with that, because that was one of our bigger problems. I noticed that Cam plays really aggressive, and I always wanted to pick him out. But the game we played against him when he was Ari, and there was little that we could do when he had Zhonya's and ulti.
Mm-hmm. This is actually my first time seeing him on an AD mid, so I'm very excited to see how he does in this matchup.
It looks like he's pressing him up against his tower pretty well.
Well, he knows that Jarvan was just seen at top, so he feels safe right now pushing up.
Well, it's very
Jarvan's
strange.
roaming down towards mid,
It's
though.
unusual that Ari's letting him push up just because of the way she can outrange him and outpoke him. That she's not just providing a lot of harass for the farm that he's very clearly getting.
Blown a flash on Cam already. Actually, I think the flash wasn't completely necessary, given that Jarvan used his Q so early and didn't even get his combo in.
Yeah, I think he made a conscious decision not to throw it because he had the opportunity. Yasuo was there in that line for about a second, so he could have done it if he wanted to initiate.
Mighty J4 back to mid lane. It's really the solo laners that just... The bot lane of ELO Boosted does so well for themselves, but...
Okay, looking for a counter gank.
Oh, with J4 coming in, J4's a little bit lower than Maokai. This could be
Cam going aggressive.
Ooh,
Oh, we
looks
might see
Kepper's
first blood here
going.
on
Kepper's
First
got
blood
her.
going to Maokai.
Ooh. Has Maokai... Nope, I don't think Kepper's going to be able to respond to that.
J4's going to
Oh,
walk away.
oh,
No
oh,
way!
oh.
Flashes and gets the entangling root.
Beautiful. That's a druid spell, right? It roots people.
It's Twisted Advance.
Twisted advance. Thank you.
Which you've said 3 times today already.
Have I?
Yeah.
Entangling roots.
We
I
never said
lost
that.
a lot, and I'm tired.
Yeah, you lost a lot. Exactly what Steve was saying.
Ooh, here comes bot lane. Getting the easy
More
damage
harass.
on Ashe.
Ashe is extremely low with no escape, as I was talking about before, so this could be a really easy gank if Maokai decides to come down.
Well,
Saw last game how willing Mudkip is to just sit in bot lane with almost no health.
both summoners down on bot and blue have both their summoners up. But the same, you can say the same for purple at the moment too, red if you will.
GodTier's taking a lot of damage underneath tower.
Vel'Koz really laying it onto Jax.
You know, one thing I haven't seen a lot in this tournament is healing supports. They've normally been kill potential and crowd control supports for the playmaking. Would it have made a difference with this last matchup?
It could have. The really strong engage is what they needed against Ashe, I feel like, just because, again, the no escape. Healing is good because she does deal a lot of damage with the volley, but her inability to get away from anything that they just decide to jump on her with, I think outweighs the need to heal, because if they can kill her, she's not going to deal any damage.
I'm also surprised that we haven't seen much Nami coming out of Gordan Ramsey, simply because they play such an aggressive bot lane. Jack's going on to
Here we
Vel'Koz here.
go. Got the stun on both sides. Got a stun.
What's actually impressive is Jax is out-farming Vel'Koz by quite a bit more than he really should be.
And you said the same for mid. The melee mid is out farming the Ahri.
That's one of the things that they've kept doing every single game is out farming their lanes.
Yep.
That's something they try for every game.
We talked about it last game. Their whole...
Kepper coming in, he still has a refresh.
Ooh, here's
Double buff, the ultimate coming out
There
from
we
Yasuo.
go. Thresh
Picks
is
an
coming
easy
up.
kill.
Ooh, the missed Thresh hook.
just on the edge, barely misses. Brahms coming in.
Really just getting Cam the carry rolling. They're going to be free to contest this dragon, I'm thinking.
Here we go.
Oh,
Jungler and support.
Pick
Going
on
for Thresh.
maybe? Nope. Thresh really good disengage there. But like I was saying, that was something we were talking about with before last game started. Was it seems like Ela Boosted's whole mindset towards this tournament is win lane, win game. Mm-hmm. So that's absolutely their primary focus is to win lane, get more farm. Oh, J4
coming in, not getting the smite.
Oh, here comes Corky.
Getting blown up himself. Thresh going with him.
Corky and
completely greedy play going in there with only 3 members around.
Corky and Yasuo each pick up a kill. Both of the carries are getting plenty fed right now.
Playing where they have no room to, really.
Right now, it's a no-holds-barred mindset for blue team, just because if they lose this game, they're out of the tournament, so they're throwing it all down on the table, I think, to a point where it's hurting them.
They should definitely be playing a lot smarter against a team that has a few times outplayed them already today.
That was a really good Vel'Koz key, yeah. Somebody studied geometry.
Once again, this Vel'Koz is just impressive.
There's Ashe just taking free poke, not giving anything significant back.
Wow, she is just getting chunked.
She's not walking back or anything. She's willing to give this up. Oh, here we go.
Brummel being popped on Ashe.
Looks like they're
getting
turning
the
on the
stun
Thresh.
down on Thresh. Thresh is gonna fall here.
No!
Oh, coming short on the auto attack for Rusky.
Did they both just flash over? Yes, they did. Vel'Koz is here.
Vel'Koz teleport down.
Looks like Jackson is just saving his stuff. Oh, it's still down actually.
Jackson's just gonna have free farm up in that top lane until Vel'Koz is able to get back. And again, we've seen what happens when GodTierPantheon gets the free farm. Yasuo actually using the tornado to go in on Ahri. Taking her down to half. He's not done. Okay, he's done.
he doesn't want to fight the tower too.
Coming out of the static ship, he knows how big he is.
Oh yeah, he understands it. He's 13 farm ahead and 2 kills. 2 assists. He is plenty far ahead. 2 assists ahead. Looks like Team Elo boosted is a full 4K ahead. Vel'Koz popping the ult.
Drkepper falling here.
Here goes Drkepper. He's trying to put a little bit of hurt on him before he goes.
Double buff onto Jarvan, saying he owed him from last time.
Here goes
the one thing I can absolutely say about blue team is they're showing how hard it truly is to kill the Sentinel.
Here goes mid turret falling. Looks like Rusky and Gordan Ramsey are going to go for bot turret. Let's see if they can get it before Thresh gets down
Jax
there.
with a really good split push.
Once again, one thing I've noticed about Jaguars, they really have a flair for these pick comps that can just single out a single person and burst them down.
And they're not
within
quite able
seconds.
to do that, though.
And they don't play to the strengths of what their team comp is built around. You see absolutely 0 wards, really, in any sort of aggressive area on the map.
They're all very defensive and covering their own jungle. They're not doing anything together. Like you said, be aggressive. They don't have any deep wards. They haven't even tried to position themselves for deep wards. When that's what I think their jungle needs to be doing right now, just so they can get in the position to get that pick.
Yasuo got first tier mid.
about that Maokai counter presence. That's what was my hesitation into ganking. Was where's Maokai? We don't see him, but obviously, like you guys say, if they had the wards, they wouldn't have that problem.
Yep.
Here comes Braum stopping them from their.
Maokai coming down.
Ooh, he's brave. They're probably.
Ash, maybe.
Maokai flash up. Might see the flash
Low to
through.
the face.
TTP.
Jax jumping in on him. With Maokai coming in with the twisted advance. Thank you.
Here comes J4 trying to counter. Just getting pushed right back out. Here comes Scorpio. They're going to take this turret. Ooh, the Cataclysm.
Diving in with the Cataclysm. Ari coming in right behind him.
Nice job.
This is
Vel'Koz.
a good fight for
Jax
Jaguars
might
right
lose it to
now.
Vel'Koz right here.
Geometry, geometry,
Oh!
He gets him. Vel'Koz still has
No,
flash
to
up.
the
Picks
Sailor
up the
Moon.
kill for Ari.
He wishes.
Oh, that was him giving the compliment of.
Yeah.
Here we go. They're finally taking down this bottom turret. Ash is coming. I don't think she can trade with this Corky at all.
Absolutely not.
She just allows herself to take too much damage before she says, I need to throw in the towel, I need to back, I need to drop a health
Such an
pot or something.
awkward build path too. He goes double Dorans with a Vamp Scepter. It's just
Two Dorans, you're not supposed to pick up a Vamp Scepter.
No,
It's not
it's-
straight Infinity.
it's way too far out of the build path, and it's really just gonna set him behind when that's not where he needs to be at all right now.
You have the lifesteal that you need, but you don't have the damage to back up the lifesteal. Lifesteal is almost always percentage based. So I think there may be 1-2 items that give you flat lifesteal, and
Oh, here's the hook. On
at that point
Cam.
you need damage to back it up. Really weird initiate. No one seemed to take the fresh lantern in on that, even though he dropped it right at their feet.
But they come back and
Blue team just gets
Waited out
cleaned
long
up,
enough.
really. Trade mid laners.
They're
Blue
getting ready
team
for
is
this
just
dragon.
Blue team is just standing on and walking through so many red wards right now. They need to be sweeping or something, and they're just not. And I think that's costing them.
ELO boosted, really trying to push to have a presence in this dragon, and I don't think they really
No,
have.
they're pulling it out of pit, so they might be able to take this without.
Corky.
Robin's looking to smite steal.
And there it is.
There
Doesn't
we
get
go.
it.
Kepper's
Oh,
going down
Ooh,
for
Kepper
it.
falls
but-
for it to J4.
I feel like Elo Boost spends a lot of time together because they are that kind of team, obviously, that spent long enough time to where they're comfortable with buying wards for their team. The difference between the other teams in the tournament is that they probably, like we have, our team was
Great
so-
charm coming out onto Jax, and he is going to get picked off by the Ari ultimate.
Yep. One thing I did notice. Whoa!
Oh.
What is going on? Wow!
No.
There
Okay,
it
there
goes,
we
to the
are.
queue.
One thing I did notice about the Thresh that they have, he made a very silly mistake. He threw down the sweeping ones, and he would have been able to kill it, but he canceled his own auto attack to move to throw another auto attack. That seems like
Braum ultimate coming out with a Yasuo on the end of it. Oh. Just a beautiful pick.
Here comes Ash coming out right
Flashing
beside the
forward.
Yasuo.
so many of these skill
Yasuo
shots
takes the
are
charm.
J4 going in with a quarter of his health. I think they're just going YOLO now.
Oh,
Oh,
the
the great
whoa.
wind wall on the Ash ult.
You called it, didn't you?
They're not doing too terribly in terms of cutting back. I don't know what J4 was thinking right there.
Vel'Koz,
Mudkip for me
0-3.
leading the charge on Ash. Without an ult, I don't know what all she would be able to do to initiate a fight other than get caught.
Yeah, Vel'Koz is actually coming out really big right now, and he could turn into a problem once this game gets a little further down the road. His farm, though, is being completely overshadowed by Jax.
I think that Vel'Koz will be a huge threat later on, but I think that Jax will be more so.
Blue going over to
Is
Rusty.
Jax
He can
even able?
really
Is
appreciate
Jax
that.
able to win a 1v1 on Vel'Koz right now?
Yeah.
You think so?
Oh,
Yeah.
With hiding his abilities because
Yeah.
of the gap closer and his
Yeah.
stun, he can't have a huge chance to run away.
He also has Phage for like a lot of just 1v1 maneuverability.
The biggest thing that he has to do with Volkaz, picking up Boost Felicity, I've seen him pick up Boost Felicity. I think he does it for the offensive capabilities,
Yep.
purely. And obviously, that defense is a good offense. The thing about his ulti is that he has to focus down Corki and Yasuo at the same time, I feel like, without being countered by the Yasuo wall or Bronze Shield.
And there's so much that can disrupt that ultimate too.
Hit or miss.
He's really going to have to count abilities in these team fights if he wants any chance of that being effective.
Blue team's still struggling to get any wards out that are going to do anything other than provide defense. Their deepest ward is the entrance to their blue from River. I don't think they have any vision on either objective, Baron or Dragon.
We don't see a whole lot of wards out on either side right at this moment.
Red's doing a lot around Baron. I feel like after this next team fight, they're either going to rotate back to Baron or they're going to try to bait a fight around Baron.
Wow, a lot of damage coming out from Vel'Koz right now. Great ultimate.
Just great combo between Braum Shield and Windwall, though.
Wow,
That
completely
deflected
pushing
a lot
Red
of
team
damage.
off.
Here, I think, is going to be the bait on Baron if they decide to go in on
Definitely
it.
did snipe out that Corki and push it away.
Yep.
Yes, they are out of 80 carry now this next fight, but they still have GTP and Yasuo.
The thing about the Yasuo nerfs that recently have happened, they might have nerfed his tankiness, but they have not nerfed his damage capabilities. The thing is that if Yasuo gets farmed and if it reaches a little bit in the late game, no matter what, you will get that farm and you will be strong.
Absolutely.
You need only 3 items: Immediate Edge, Static Shiv, and Last Whisper, and he will completely obliterate every single person that he touches.
I don't even think Red Team wants this Baron. I think they're just going to use it.
I may see him picking up a Blade of the Ruined King actually once he has his Infinity Edge finished out, just because there is a lot of damage that he's going to be soaking up going into the front line of this team. And the Blade of the Ruined King is really just like the cherry on the sundae with his Q. It puts it on such a low. Hold on. Ash just so far behind.
She's had that same build for about 5 minutes now?
Yeah.
In terms of CS, she's not doing too bad, but she's still 2 kills and
Not
Ash
doing
Ash
bad,
did pick
but
up a pickaxe to add damage to the lifesteal, though.
she's not getting the damage that she needs for these team fights. It at the moment it might as well be without the Ash ult, no 80 carry on the blue side.
Well, we've seen this from her in most games, or him, I should say. He has a very awkward build, but in the end, it usually seems to work out a little bit.
Once he gets his few couple of items.
He just builds them in a very awkward manner.
But for a reliable Ash, especially towards mid-game, you need to rush your Static Shiv and Infinity Edge.
Absolutely.
Regardless of life steal, you need that initiation and burst and capitalization on the snake. I keep feeling that
Red
Vel'Koz
team getting ready for Dragon.
is
They might be taking Dragon.
one of the hugest surprises for the tournament.
Absolutely. I will give that to him. And especially he's just so comfortable in that champion. It's very impressive, honestly.
You see him using the side, when he shoots out from the side.
The geometry.
The angles.
Yeah. Right angles are hard, dude.
Right angles are impossible.
As an 80 carry main, I cringe when I see us support Vel'Koz on the other team.
It's almost as it's a longer range Zyra, it feels like.
And it just it has the damage of an Annie almost, like a very fed Annie. It's just terrifying. And he scales almost no matter what because of the true damage. When it gets later into the game, their team actually has a pretty good front line for Vel'Koz to just simply sit in the back and shoot off his abilities.
Jarvan will lock him up if they try to dive too far with his Cataclysm, and maybe Ash can flash out the Cataclysm or trap inside the Cataclysm, taking the Cataclysm.
Rush making another really
Wow!
Right there.
A big Vel'Koz ultimate coming through. Cataclysm dropped right behind the tower, and red team is just running scared.
And where is GTP during all this time? He still has full
Blue
health.
team's able to
bot power.
disengage. They get away with only 1 kill.
Looks like blue team is actually going down to try to get Jax. I don't know if they have enough health to back that up.
I don't think they can fight him right now.
They can.
They can.
They'd get a quadra easy. Especially
I
after
think, I think
maybe
he's going up.
trying
he's
to
gonna
to
go and try to
close
get
on
this
them.
quadra potentially.
No, I think he's just going for red.
He's waiting.
He's gonna red rotate to them.
Oh, Ash sees him. Ash knows. Or she's guessing. Uh-oh.
They don't want.
Uh-oh.
They don't want this Jax
Uh-oh,
right
here
now.
we go.
They don't want this Jax right now. Okay, they get him,
Oh.
and they get him.
Their lucky Vel'Koz came back up around.
Somebody call Neo. That
4-0
Sentinel's out of
for
control.
Vel'Koz.
Starting to do really, really well
That
in
is
their
a
team fights.
very big Vel'Koz.
They're still, however, 8k down in 4 objectives.
And he's coming out with a needlessly large run. He's going to be chunking.
Uh-oh, here's J4.
He prefers Jarvan before. Why do you always do that?
You got limited for the tournament. What is it?
Need a new jungler. One jungle next tournament.
Sure.
The young god Volibear.
I'll take him. He was like, I backed in bot, and I went to bot lane.
It's like, oh, hey, it's level 6 guys, we can do it.
You remember that double knockup on me and Gordan?
Yeah.
At, like level 4? Oh my gosh, I was
The
like,
flash. The slow, prize,
That was-
the way
So it
you
looks
feel.
like red team is prepping for a Baron here. I don't know if they're using it to bait, as we said they like to do, or if they're actually going to take it to push to win. Everybody's still sitting down, so I don't think they're going to push to win with it.
that 3-minute delay.
That's what makes you so
Lovable.
So bitty.
He's itty bitty.
See what I did there?
Oh.
Again with the Braum Maokai. If Maokai pops in, Braum can sit right on top of him.
Blue side
Blue team
clearing
feeling-
out Baron right now. Actually, Red's giving him respect.
They're
really
feeling,
giving him room.
that wasn't even me. Alex.
they're feeling much more comfortable than last game.
Yeah.
It wasn't me.
Well, after they've seen what the Vel'Koz is capable of doing, the Vel'Koz is now having to deal with Jax in the bot lane. May be able to
Oh,
come out
no.
with something here, but
Jax
meanwhile,
is-
red team's going to get Baron.
They're taking it.
Jax giving them the distraction they need, but Jax and Vel'Koz now teleporting up towards the Baron area.
We're going to continue
Oh,
this
the
fight
actual
at
just
Baron.
gets bounced off of the Braum shield. Flashes goes
Vel'Koz
down.
we
coming
go.
in from the back.
J4 's
Not
done.
going to be able to
Thrush trying to get J4 out of there, but he didn't succeed.
Where's their Vel'Koz? If Vel'Koz is popping in right now, is it going to
Vel'Koz is right there. still
Vel'Koz is about to
full
get jumped on and die.
Vel'Koz was not able to get the positioning that he needed to get the ult.
Corky's coming up behind him. and
Easily
just-
annihilating this with an auto.
slow, painful
So it's a
death of the red
4-1.
Yep.
4-1 in Pantheon.
Gonna be
gonna
a
be a
middle
very
inhibitor for
severe
Elo
push.
boosted.
They might. Nope. Death timers aren't quite long enough for them to get a Nexus Tower, and they don't have a wave close enough either.
Cam the carry. Cam the carry always leading the charge.
Yeah.
Who's Cam the carry?
Yasuo.
Mid.
They got you.
So random. Who's Diddy? This guy. What? No, not me. Look at me.
So
Elo.
what can blue team do here?
Trying to look out for Vel'Koz this time. Like, they didn't fight with Vel'Koz
Yeah.
that fight, and it costed them.
I agree.
Jarvan landed a perfect ulti, caught 3 people without Vel'Koz there.
Cost him his life and 3 of his teammates.
And it was just such. It was partially a poor teleport from Vel'Koz, I think, because he came down at the side middle bush, while Jax came in right there in front of Baron, and his team was being just demolished up in front of the blue. So he really had no position to really get down any of the damage that his team really needed for that fight to happen.
I feel like they are still confident and they still have a chance in this because they're still pushing out their mid lanes. They're not turtling yet. They still have decent map control with their wards.
Ash finally coming out with an Infinity Edge too.
But these pinks at Drkepper obviously controlling the map with his wards coverage.
See, he ends up doing that a lot during the mid games. He will focus on ward coverage.
Maokai kind of caps off, and obviously he has his Aegis.
Which one of you is the British shoutcaster?
You what, mate?
Oh, looks like red team's going for the Baron seriously this time. There's no blue team around to come
No
and attack them.
contest at all.
My favorite European shoutcaster starts with a K. Who is he?
Not relevant. You say European shoutcaster or British shoutcaster? Okay, I was gonna say he's definitely not British.
Ash being extremely effective in that dragon.
I think she
Shooting volleys over the pit. Very.
She W'd a few times. So they traded a Baron for red, Dragon for blue. Elo boosted up 10k.
Blue side needs to get on it with this warding.
Not as huge of a gap as you've seen in past games.
No, last
No.
time they were up about 15k. They are, and this time they have a couple more carries that can pull out the damage to shorten the gap even more.
Yeah, the top lane is really on a comfort champion.
J4 and Maokai about to go at it. Maokai is not scared at all.
With the Baron buff plus his passive, he can do plenty of healing.
Ooh. However, the other four are going down top lane.
No jungler with him.
That's one of the bigger things about Baron buff.
Right now.
Once you have Baron buff, not only can you win team fights and underneath turrets, the biggest thing is that as you siege, your Baron buff heals you up.
Yeah.
Making the decision of when does this player on our team gets poked down enough to where they have to go back.
And it makes sieging such a perfect option just because in between waves you have such a good window to quickly heal up and just be ready for the next wave to come in so that you're able to just continue the siege over and over
Red
again.
team just bouncing from lane to lane, sieging everything that blue has left
And the
up.
poke from Corky just absolutely ripping through their squishy.
I was about to comment on that. Corky was pushing it over the wall right there, hitting.
That
Little
Maokai
magic
stopped that
resist.
whole wave though. With just one knocker. He was able to make that guy a little bit longer.
The fact is that blue team has very little magic resist against Corki or first shield.
Flash, Braum ulting, and a Yasuo for the Ash.
Ooh,
Gets
Ash
saved by
gets-
the
Oh,
no,
Maokai.
by the Maokai.
Still not picking up the kill though.
Maokai's
There.
1v3ing.
This could be an in-hit for red if they avoid that
Vel'Koz's
Vel'Koz's ultimate.
ultimate coming
Oh,
out.
right
Gets
onto
killed.
Maokai.
Maokai survived the read. No, Maokai didn't go down, didn't
Maokai
he?
kind of got
Ash on the chase, no getting away.
Ari on the shutdown on Corky.
A really good fight actually for blue side.
So,
Gordon
something that
Ramsey
happened
peacing
there
out.
that was pretty crazy is the knockup actually saved Ash. The Braum Q flew right under Ash.
Huh.
Yeah, oddly, I don't think it's supposed to work like that.
I don't think it works like that.
But that's exactly what happened. She, there was no Braum passive on.
The gold gap's slowly coming to an end, I feel like. They're 15 and 18. I feel like they still have a shot at this.
Oh, they're definitely still in this. They really just have to
Get the
be
towers down.
patient and pace themselves and look for the right fights for them.
Wait for that mistake where they're gonna sit in that Jarvan ulti with the flashes down and that Vel'Koz ulti, and Ari will be able to just prance around, and Ash can hit them from afar with that static shiv, and probably dive with the cleanup.
What's so difficult is Elo boosted is just they're so aggressive. They're keeping them on the reactive side every single time. There's nothing that blue side is really able to find for themselves that they can just make an engage on, because there's so much aggression coming from ELO boosted. There's no time for them to find that fight that they're looking for. So a lot of these fights that they've been walking out of have really just sort of gone right. I almost want to say out of luck, just because I don't know. I just lost my train of thought.
I think this is the first game I've seen the enemy mid laner keeping up with Cam's farm.
Arya's a great mid laner in the current meta. I
Absolutely.
mean, she fits the assassination with almost a slight utility because of her charm. You see it time and time again where she does that late game pick.
And she's just so slippery with the ultimate. She's able to just get in, delete who she needs to delete, and get out.
One thing that I've noticed about the mid laner, he consistently builds well. I feel like the Murmur is a great pickup because of all their fight heals, especially on their percentage health healing, is a great way to counter it. That's the best thing she can do, is get that extra damage to help agree with it. I wouldn't be surprised to see on Vel'Koz for his last two items a Leandri's and a Void Staff, because that would put out tons of poke damage with little resistance that they can do. He will be basically doing true damage to their tanks while shredding their health.
Be perfect for his ultimate.
And
80 carries with red.
Ash actually catching up to Corki in builds.
I feel like this is going to be a 50-minute game.
I think
Probably
so
the
too.
longest game of the tournament.
This is going to go for a pretty long time, I'm thinking, just because the teams can't fight the closing fights between each other. They either go even, or blue side is able to outperform them in the fight. But since the fights just keep taking place so close to blue side's base, they're really not able to make anything of it.
It's like Dragon's up and there's nothing going on around it. There's no wards. You see Cam over there just kind of hanging out.
Everyone's trying to push lanes and wait for the Baron. That's the biggest thing, up in 18 seconds. I feel like this comes down to the 80 carries in these team fights. Who lives
So as you can see as well, there is just no vision for them on Baron.
No,
no
only
vision
red
outside
side.
outside of their zone, except for that pink and bot.
Only red side has anything around
I feel like
Baron.
they're expecting them to get Baron, and they just can't. They don't have the ward coverage because they could be waiting and waiting for that late game push. So they have to give up Baron.
And they just cleared Baron so quickly with Yasuo with that.
3 scanners
Incendiary.
on red side.
Wow.
3 scanners. That's why they have no wards top lane. They've already pre-warded it, and they will see the bushes that they do ward and scan them out.
We might see a final push here.
Going for the inhib.
They'll be taking the inhib. They'll probably be looking to siege bottom lane after. They have a pretty big wave coming up.
With Maokai tanking this, I feel like it's
Oh wow, Maokai taking straight into the back for Vel'Koz. Oh wow.
Yeah, I was
Only
say
on
red team is
Maokai,
not
though.
able to get up there.
Maokai was so focused.
They're getting caught. Oh, this is looking really good for the blue.
Ari's prancing around, doing her damage.
Does Yasuo still have his ultimate? Yeah.
If only he had Thresh to
So we still have a Yasuo ult to deal with.
Only really
Not
getting
much
on Maokai though. They're
not
not
much to use to knock it up. Bramall down. Looks like they gotta back away and farm up.
I feel like with Maokai's build path, he might fall off quickly. He has incredible tankiness, but I feel like their damage will fall off with Braum and Maokai.
Yeah, I
Jax
think
can
so.
be disabled, and Yasuo can be disabled, and Corki will be disabled.
And Jarvan actually looking to soak up a lot from Jax and Yasuo with the Thornmail coming out. He's really looking to just keep as many of the heavy AD like divers from red team off of his backline, because that is basically what they're banking on.
A Thornmail. Seeing that being pulled out in the tournament is highly irregular.
couldn't help but notice that a lot of times when they go in, they get to the thresh. The focus is interesting.
I cannot wait to see when 80 carries are fully built because I feel like that will pressure the game to an end.
Absolutely. And Ash full build is just terrifying, honestly.
The slows, the auto attacks, you can't run away from her. Corky has to have those brief moments of unable to auto attack because of his spellcast.
Yeah. But at the same time, the poke that he's providing for his team.
The amount of damage that Ash can pull off to a Corky in a 1v1 while stunned is enough to make him back away. But if he tries to back away, he's too slow to run away. If they can consistently make pits and at least live through team fights, I feel like Blue Team can make it through because the Ash will keep picking them off if they can live through the team fight. I feel like that's the biggest thing. If Gordan goes in, if he can either flash out of his ulti after a knockup and an ulti, I feel like that will help.
Oh, it looks like we're getting a bot tower at the bot.
Wow, Jack's pulling 2 members down.
An arrow.
The GA for those saves. Looks like he really. No, he's
Ooh,
going
was
down.
the ult worth?
Taking out 2 ultimates blown for Jax.
I don't think it was worth those 2 ultis, but what it did was it stopped the split push.
Stop the split push and
Looks like we
stop
might
the
be.
siege.
Yeah, so we might be farming up to get the GA.
It's enough time for Blue Team to start farming up again.
Oh, Ash Arrow was also burned on that. I didn't even see that.
Looks like Team Elo boosters just pulling their lead back up again with 13k.
Well, without really any hard engage besides maybe a flash of Brahmo, there's not much they can do right now. Except for pick him out of the base.
Yasuo has his 3 high damage items right now. He is probably one of the scariest people. Even Jarvan has picked up the Portfolio, so he is a regular beef. And that's what.
Yasuo lasting too long in a team fight is just going to be disastrous.
English is whatever. As long as I can understand the words that are coming out of our mouths.
Ash, you're killing me.
Even though this is disrespect, I feel hype settling down from Red Sox team.
I think so. This is the first game I think since like near the beginning of the tournament where they actually have to. They really have to take their time with what they do, and they have to make their decisions very carefully.
Like I said, Maokai's falling off. You can't win late games. Late games, but this is going to be full build.
All he's able to attribute right now is a meat shield and a snare. But like we saw in the last team fight with the flash snare, he really wasn't able to get anybody on his team to follow up with him into the Vel'Koz. And that's their biggest problem in these team fights because Vel'Koz will just look for the perfect moment to sit in the back of his team and just shoot that ultimate off and try to melt whatever priority target he can.
This game very much looks like a slowly...
Wow, Rusty getting played and hooked onto the tower. Yasuo coming in getting 2.
Corky's still alive though and picking off Ash.
Wow, Rusty walks away with almost no health.
Vel'Koz ulti's still up. He had to defend mid lane, and that's why bot tower fell. They couldn't ulti with Vel'Koz and Gordan. They should have probably sent Ash, and at least you would have arrowed bottom lane.
The poke from Vel'Koz maybe going to keep them off of this inhibitor. They still have Jax pushing up in the top lane.
It seems like a very...
Red team is being a little greedy here.
They need to get out of there.
But the Yasuo comes back up.
Lord.
Oh, and he gets killed by the
W.
Vel'Koz. Wow.
And then there's
Completely
Jack
pushed
split
up.
pushing.
Jack's still split
The
pushing.
thwomp thwomp.
Gonna
Look how
make it out with
fast
an
he hits that
inhibitor.
animation. Good lord.
At this point though, there's really not much Jax can do besides split push.
Jax is a giant team fight presence.
He's not
right
just
now.
want to run into Vel'Koz.
No.
Yeah, no, he does not want to get in that 1v1
So
situation.
Levi and Beasley have coming out the past 2 minutes. It's crazy. What up?
Very slow, painful, drawn-out death for blue team here, I feel. It just seems like they push, they get half of something, they push, they get the other half, they push, they get half of something, and it's just not going to end, I don't think, unless blue team is able to somehow get on this Baron and really have a counter.
Well, that's the thing. These fights they're so far back from any available objective that even when they do make it out of these team fights on the better side, it's just
they can't do anything.
They're not able to do anything.
The death timers aren't quite long enough yet.
No, and they don't have fights where they don't lose anybody. So it's almost impossible for them to be able to recuperate from these fights and actually get the objectives that they need to move forward in this game.
And they will be taking another uncontested Baron.
Just piling on the gold lead.
Piling on the gold lead and getting that Baron buff, maybe going for the finishing push.
Both inhibs are looking to be taken down, I feel like.
Corky wants that blue buff. He loves that cooldown reduction.
I imagine Jax is going to be pushing down the top lane, and the rest of the team will probably be going towards mid or bot.
Still surprisingly, very little magic resistance. I mean, obviously they do have the two ADCs, but considering the fact that Jax and all of them do really big damage.
Wow, really committing to picking off Rusty here, and they get him. Pepper's still lost in it. Gets
like
picked off by the Ignite.
Looks like they got 2 for nothing right there. Got picked off with away from
completely shove off the split pushing.
Baron wasted.
Definitely guaranteeing that they will be lasting in this game, and we may see this go to 50 minutes.
I don't know, with this double objective, it's looking like Red is getting ready to push to win here.
Spoilers, first you saw.
Man, it sucks you guys lost.
Doesn't want to spoil the surprise.
Game 3 it is. $17,000 gold. Oh, well, look at the gold.
No.
I see the gold.
It's close considering the bell size.
Sentinels.
Huh?
Watch Matrix, they're Sentinels.
Once again, undefeated.
America, you just did.
Please no
It's
spoilers.
like Jax is leading another push to the top lane. He loves these split push. That is all he's done all game. But it works.
They're just going to split blue team once again.
By the way, what'd you say your boss?
It looks like all of blue team's going down to
J4 going for broke, diving straight in. Velkoz's ultimate coming straight through 2. Ari just gets deleted.
Everybody just seemed to dump on Kepper there, and I really don't know why he's so big.
Jax just cleaned it up. He wants the blood.
Wow, going for the kill, obviously.
And they go.
Oh, Jax almost survived Fountain Tower.
Thanks for the lead, dude. It was obviously the Corky, like I said, during late game team fights that cleaned up that great kill and secure the game. That Corky was basically untouched.
Red team very clearly not knowing how to play this game. They didn't clear the other two in hits. What's Scrubs?
What's Grub?
worst team in a...
There are two inhibs just asking to be taken, and then look, they're going for the Nexus. I mean, what are they doing?
Good game to Jaguars.
The reigning champs take it. Team Elo Boost has won the Ebash Open tournament.
I feel like a lot of our teams could learn a lot from the poundage that was given.
Yes. And with that, we will sign off. See you all later.